Whoops, kind of forgot to check some things. Though this should be good. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Okay, so I'll do the stream tests. Test 1, 2. And then, okay, Twitch looks good. YouTube. Test 1, 2. Okay, looks good. And then I'll monitor Synchro. All right, perfect. Good. I made sure to update the details in advance so that YouTube doesn't show that I'm doing a game or something. So I didn't realize I could actually update the details of YouTube in advance as well. We're learning. Okay, well, here I am. It's been a couple of days. I didn't think I would not be streaming for the last 2 days, but I really needed to. My mental health demanded that I take a break. I thought maybe, well, I did entertain myself actually. There's a video coming out in just over 2 hours that's going to show like some of what I did and represent. It's going to also give a hint at some other content that I'm interested in exploring, outside of making music and playing games, although it kind of does involve both. But anyway, completely different medium, I guess you could say. It's much different time of the medium, I should say. Anyway, so yeah, today it is John 12. So yes, for my professors, for future Chris, I'm working on John 12 today, I believe. And that's all I have to do to kind of keep on track. And then I will have 9 tracks to make, but that will be for the month of August. So I'm relatively on schedule for that. So John 12 is supposed to be, I believe, it seems I started even or odd numbers on deliberate theology, and then the even numbers seem to be more about Lectio Divina, with maybe sometimes a little bit of theology, but mostly an emphasis on improvisation. It's going to be a little bit different, because I seem to be just doing whatever feels right. So I'm leaving it open. I'm gonna go here. I have my default set on, although I will also save the set as John 12. And I can edit it as I wish. Okay. So here we go. What do we got? The my Bible, the Orthodox Study Bible. Again, this is the version I am using. Let's make sure that's in frame. Yes, this one here. It describes it puts the section into, or it divides the chapter, into many sections. Quite a bit actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one of the chunkier sections, I think it's safe to say. First section is called Jesus Anointed for His Burial. The second is the Triumph of Palm Sunday. Then we have Dying to This World, Judgment of This World, the Cross, Become Sons of Light, and Who Has Believed Jesus' Words? Oh, maybe is that possible? And then Jesus' words from the Father. So I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of repeated theology here. But I also see that there's a lot. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's actually 7 sections. What I think I'm going to do here is I'll take note for myself, because there may be many. I have a feeling, just by the sheer the titles of of the sections tell me that there's going to be lots of relevant theology, although also repeated. And if I'm doing it in a Lectio Divina mode, I may want to focus in on a couple of words just to guide, because this could otherwise get very out of control, very out of hand. So I want to keep it somewhat in check. Lengthwise, right? Okay. I'll begin reading. Then, 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus, who had been dead, whom he had raised from the dead, there they made him a supper. Sorry. Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, who had been dead, whom he had raised from the dead. There they made him a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of those who sat at the table with him. Then Mary took a pound of very costly oil of spikenard, anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. But one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, son of Simon, who would betray him, said, "Why was this fragrant oil not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had the money box, and he used to take what was put in it. But Jesus said, "Let her alone. She has kept for this day of my burial hold on. But Jesus said, "Let her alone. She has kept this for the day of my burial. For the poor you have with you always, but me you do not have always." Now a great many of the Jews knew that he was there, and they came, not for Jesus' sake only, but that they might also see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. But the chief priests plotted to put Lazarus to death also, because on account of him many of the Jews went away and believed in Jesus. All right. So we have... I when I was working on this project, that I had always imagined that I was going to involve numbers some way. I think if you were to focus on the Pentateuch, then you would be doing a lot with numbers. But the Book of John is a lot more. It's symbolic in different ways. But we have this 6 days before the Passover. Maybe there's something I can do with that. So I will take note, but we have... So themes, we have 6 days before Passover, of which he is the Passover lamb that is to be sacrificed. So that is so there's could be naturally there is a countdown element to it, but there may be a way that I can integrate that into the music. We also have Judas being kind of displeased. There's a tension there, which I think it's going to build up on in the next section. So I'll continue reading. The Triumph of Palm Sunday. Oh, no. No. Okay. They didn't elaborate on it that much. I think I'm confusing it with some other media. The next day, a great multitude that had come to the feast, when they heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem, took branches of palm trees and went out to meet him and cried out, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel." Then Jesus, when he had found a young donkey, sat on it, as it is written, "Fear not, daughter of Zion, behold, your king is coming, sitting on a donkey's colt." His disciples did not understand these things at first, but when Jesus was glorified, then they remembered that these things were written about him and that he had done these things to him. Okay, the Hosanna part is always... Oh, hey, Dan. Cool, cool, cool. Welcome. Um, Hosanna. It's kind of a triumph. That is really is a moment. Blessed is he. So we have Hosanna. And then we have arriving on the donkey. And there's a prophecy fulfilled there. Okay. I'll go into the next section right away, since I'm taking the notes. So he's anointed for his burial. There's Palm Sunday. Okay. Therefore, the people who were with him when he called Lazarus out of his tomb and raised him from the dead bore witness. For this reason, the people also met him, because they heard that he had done the sign. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, "You see that you are accomplishing nothing. Look, at the world has gone after him. Look, the world has gone after him." Now there were certain Greeks amongst those who came to worship at the feast. Then they came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida of Galilee, and asked him, saying, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Philip came and told Andrew, and in turn Andrew and Philip told Jesus. But Jesus answered them, saying, "The hour has come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Most assuredly I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls onto the ground and dies, it remains alone. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much grain." Okay. We have being glorified. Then we have the multiplication. I think this is reference to believers, multiplication of the grain. He who loves his life will lose it, and he who hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life. If anyone serves me, let him follow me, and where I am, there my servant will also be. If anyone serves me, him my Father will honor. Now my soul is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this purpose I came to the hour. Father, glorify your name. Then a voice came from heaven saying, I have been glorified. I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. Okay. So the voice of God the Father itself glorifies him. Judgment of this world. So the next section. Therefore the people who stood by and heard it said that it had thundered. Oh, right, that's kind of a big deal right there, eh? It thundered. Kind of a huge moment, right? Because it's also where it's not just this personal thing that happens between Jesus the Son and God the Father. It's others witness it. It had thundered. Others said, "An angel has spoken to him." Jesus answered and said, "This voice did not come because of me, but for your sake. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be cast out. And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all peoples to myself." This he said, signifying by what death he would die. The people answered him, "We have heard from the law that the Christ remains forever, and how can you say the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is the Son of Man?" A short section, "Become sons of light." Then Jesus said to them, "A little while longer the light is with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. He who walks in darkness does not know where he is going. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become sons of light." These things Jesus spoke, and departed, and was hidden from them. Once again, he... Hey, Scumby, good evening. Welcome. So, again, this theology about, like, acting or believing, in this case, while there is light. Because you cannot work and you won't have the same opportunity within the darkness, right? That's been a theological theme from earlier chapters, but it was more when he was talking about working his miracles. He has to work his miracles while he is on earth, because while he was on the earth, that is kind of the day. He's got to work in the day because the night is coming. So now it's, walk in the light, become sons of light while you have the light. Believe in it, because the darkness is coming, in which, of course, it's 6 days before Passover, so we know we're within a week of that moment. There's only 2 sections left. Already there's a lot of stuff. If I'm not going to lie, I'm gravitating more because it's more unique. I've already, 6 days before Passover, there can be something there. This countdown towards Passover, this moment when he's glorified by God, and it's represented through thunder, this thundering sound, this booming voice from the heavens. Then there's Judas being displeased because of how the money's been spent, but tension, okay. There is an aspect of that, but I can probably lean in it closer to the actual crucifixion rather than now. Hosanna. Ooh. The imagery of him marching into Jerusalem on the back of a donkey and people are cheering, and it's Palm Sunday, and it's a beautiful event too. If you ever walk into an Orthodox church, I finally did. I was there on Palm Sunday, and it was a sight to behold. Okay, and then acting and believing while there is light. Again, I think I could tie this into the countdown, and I've already musically shown the ways in which that can be represented. It's a theology I've already covered many times, so, or at least a few times. So I'll put that on the back burner. I'll continue reading the next sections, and then I'll be done the chapter, really. And then I can get to the music, I believe. Okay. The next section is titled, "He who has believed Jesus' words," or "Who has believed Jesus' words." But although he had done so many signs, excuse me, but although he had done so many signs before them, they did not believe in him, that the word of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spoke, "Lord, who has believed our report? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed?" Therefore they could not believe, because Isaiah said again, "He has blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, lest they should see with their eyes, lest they should understand with their hearts and turn, so that I should heal them." These things Isaiah said when he saw his glory and spoke of him. Nevertheless, even among the rulers, many believed in him, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue, for they loved the praise of men more than the praise of God. Uh, right. Okay, so praise of men above God. Um, hard of believing. Might be able to represent that as well. Although I may have covered that. I covered the difficulty of believing when I was talking about, I believe it's in John 2. It's John 2 or John 3 when Jesus is in conversation with Nicodemus. I tried to represent how there's a difficulty there in understanding, but there's a dialogue, but they're not exactly saying the same things. There's a very grave misunderstanding. Even though Nicodemus is, a Pharisee among Pharisees, he's quite up there. His understanding is unparalleled, unless you compare his understanding to uh, God incarnate, right? So, okay. Last section of this chapter, Jesus's words from the Father. Okay. Then Jesus cried out and said, "He who believes in me believes not in me, but in him who sent me." Okay, I've covered this many times. And he who sees me sees him who sent me. I have come as a light into the world, that whoever believes in me should not abide in darkness. And if anyone hears my words and does not believe, I do not judge him, for I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. He who rejects me and does not receive my words has that which judges him. The word that I have spoken will judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken on my own authority, but by my Father who sent me gave me a command, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that this command is everlasting life. Therefore, whatever I speak, just as my Father's told me, so I speak. Okay. Covered that one many times. I mean, it's a beautiful message. Uh, but I feel like I would just be repeating some of the motifs I've already covered. So I'm going to avoid doing that. Um, but I'm going to cherry pick the parts I like the most. And I believe it's this idea of, so Passover, the countdown to Passover, it's coming. The darkness is coming. The light is fading. Hosanna, there's kind of a march. So there's a marching into Jerusalem, and in tandem there's a countdown of the light fading. But there's a lot of chanting. Then there's being glorified by the voice of God, which is booming, thunder. That could be some kind of an element in the background. Okay, I want to start with those three elements, which I think are more than enough. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. Already thought about a couple of things. Actually, this one, I haven't, with the exception of one song where I put wind in the background, I haven't utilized too much ambient stuff. But I think having a thunder sound, and if I can find a good recording, which I'm looking now, of people chanting Hosanna. I could use the scene from The Chosen, but I don't want to get in trouble for that. So I will look for sounds. I think Pixabay is where I usually get my stuff. Okay. That's so bright. A thunderclap. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just lower the sound. No kidding. I'm sorry about that. These are really good, but I don't need multiple sounds. The thunderclap, the first one, is really good because it's one big boom, right? Ooh. That's also good. It actually brings out a bit more. This one's so sudden that I think it'll just send my peers running. That could be good. Thunder City. Okay, this one here. I like that one. Okay. And where did my download go? Here. So I can probably remove a few instruments from here. I don't need two of you. Remove this. And then I will throw in, I'll have to make an audio track. Yep. And put you right there. Good. Try it out. I like it. Cool. Now this one might be a bit more difficult. I'm hoping that there's a Hillsong Chapel song called Hosanna. Of course there is. Nope. Sure, it's a beautiful song, but it's not at all what I'm looking for. I may have to use... Well, it's not like I'm not monetizing this. Are they gonna give me... I don't want to get in trouble for this, but that's like the thing I envisioned, is that scene from The Chosen. Hmm. Oh yeah, I couldn't have that. No. Maybe I can isolate some of this. Like, has this not been chanted anywhere else? Hosanna, the son of David. Oh. Yeah, I do not want... do not want copyright. I just want... I'm hoping that there was a tradition somewhere where people just chanted it on Palm Sunday. They didn't do it to the church I went to, but they did pretty much everything else that I saw in that scene without the chanting. Maybe I can just find Creative Commons chanting in general. That might be it, because I have that vibe in my mind to have people chanting in the background. There is a chant. There's a Gregorian chant. The Catholic ceremonies did it. And this is what? Is this a Gregorian? Yeah, well, I guess it's interesting how that sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. I'm surprised the Orthodox Church didn't, because I mean, the only musical thing they do allow themselves to do most time is using their voices. They don't. Hosanna Filio David. Okay, so there is a Gregorian chant here.
Hosanna Filio David, benedictus qui venit.
Okay, so this is just a recording of monks in an abbey in Scotland. Surely I'm not going to get a copyright strike for that. I think this is kind of I'm not an expert on this, but I feel like this is an exception in some sense, because I'm not taking this as a website, it's a recording. It's as if I went into a church and recorded us people chanting and then put it in a video. Which could also be problematic, but it also means I'm going to have to match their key. Maybe not.
In saeculum misericordia eus.
It's kind of... It's nice, though. It's pretty close to key in the first one, but... Oh, I think I got him. Hmm. 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 Could I even download this if I wanted it? Yeah, I could. No. No, 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 no. Just the chanting. Uh, crowd. Okay, this is no. uh there's using that chant too and just having it be standalone to represent the Hosanna part. But then that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do. If I'm just using okay, so that's a sign for me to back out. But the thunder, we got thunder. Okay, so the whole Hosanna segment, there's a countdown aspect to the, Passover is getting closer. Hosanna, and then the glorification of God through like the booming voice, or the glorification of Jesus through the booming voice. These are very just triumphant moments. It's like that one triumphal moment before everything goes to hell, right? So that's for me. It's a very obvious key. It's D major, triumphant, victorious, war cries. Plato would be happy, That's like the only type of music he ever liked. I'll keep looking though. Triumph D major is almost certain, and I don't think I've used D major yet, which is nice. Yeah, no, that's it. D major. Okay, so I'll set it to D major. All right, and then I will backtrack to John 11 just to remind myself of what was done there. Oh, right. Okay. I rather like it slowed down like this. Okay, then I think this is the part where Martha comes in as the harp. Yeah. Got that heavenly sound creeping in. Wow, okay. Okay. Got the feel for that. Open recent sets. John 12. Okay. Triumphant. Okay, so at this point, there's a kind of a countdown element. I'll figure out how I want to do that. That could just kind of be this progressive looming something. But there is the Hosanna part. Actually, maybe I could do a percussive element, just like a tick, and that might give the track a little bit of movement. It's like just a simple click. Let's see here. Could be something there. What do we got here? What the hell? I mean, that would be that was an accident. That would be cool, but I don't think it fits with the vibe of the rest of the music. Now something. Just do that. Okay. Something like this here real quick, just to test, and then I'll have you and you. Okay, I'll keep that around, but I don't don't know. As soon as I put in a click element, it no longer feels ambient a lot of the time. But if I start with the other stuff first, then implement some kind of a click, it might work. Okay, so something triumphant that matches the words, the lyrics here. Hosanna, blessed he who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel. fit my book here? Oh, it barely, it barely fits. But okay. Oh, it's so obvious to me now. I can represent the countdown through the slowing of frequencies, which is just doing something like I just did there. Okay. It's chanty, it's happy, so I think like even might just stick to like a 1-4-5 type of a deal. Or yeah, 1-4-5. That could work. Something like that. I think that could be. Oh, was it? I'm hoping you're referring to most of it. I'm not gonna play it like I did in the last part. I think I want to start off this, something like that. Going to a lower frequency kind of gives you this countdown-ish feeling. Then I'm gonna go into that jovial. Something like that. I'm gonna kind of improvise a chordal pattern, and that's very happy-go-lucky. Like, hey, Jesus is the prophet is coming. The Savior is coming. But also it has that kind of a looming countdown as the melody maybe in the background. That could be the track. So basically an amalgamation of what you just heard. So if you thought that sounded nice, I enjoyed it too. So that I think I'm not going to overthink it. Again, it's kind of part of the spiritual practice of it is you land on something, you're inspired, and you go with that, right? So Although if that's the case, I need to double up these. What the hell? Okay, copy them and then paste. Yeah. And I'll get rid of you and you. So we'll have a place for the chords. Piano chord. Harp chord. Piano melody. Harp melody. Piano chords, you can be, I suppose, green. Harp chords, you can be like a light yellow. Piano melody, you can be red. This could be that color. This can be that color. Harp melody, you should be, I don't know, like pink. There you go. Got to get some nice colors in there, or at least some different colors. Makes the workflow more fun. Not quite. Oh. Oh no, we got a AI viewer stream boo. I never really know what that is, but it always comes first before anything else on Twitch. It's always the first thing that comes. All right. Okay. Just need to get that melody part properly recorded in. Then I can have some fun with the other stuff. I think that melody is a motif I want to kind of come in and out every so often, so All right. Okay, I'll go with that. Yikes. Where the hell does it start? And when I want to repeat the motif, I can just chop off that chord area with this. Boom. Go there. And we got that motif, which I'll probably want to reuse a few times. So we can go back to the piano chords now. Put view at the beginning because I think this is how I want the track to start. Ah, it's on loop. Uh-huh. It's a bit sloppy. Still. Some sloppy moments, but... Scumby, did I go to school? No, I did not go to school for music. Self-taught, yes. Well, self-taught, like, I used lots of books, I watched lots of videos, and just... But yeah, I guess that still counts as self-taught. So self-motivated to learn, I guess. No, I did make an attempt much, 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 much too later, like sometime in my early 30s, where I had been considering taking music and at college when I went back. And they were basically like, unless you're like a child prodigy or something, we doubt you'll make it. And I was like, wow, okay. See ya. And so to spite them, I did a music project in a theology degree. In a way, I'm doing it to spite them. But no, it self-taught. I spent some time using a book that is pretty much geared towards teaching conservatory students, but I only got so far into it before I was, I guess you could say, bored and wanted to just branch off and do my own thing. So I took like the elementary type of music knowledge that I knew and the technique, and I just kind of improvised with it. And I just was more interested in learning different keys and modes and like how to make moods and flavors out of that. So I've kind of stagnated in that way, but in other ways, I'm always working on it, you know? Oh yeah. I like this, but it is sloppy. I really like it though. Just having fun in there in the end. Wow, okay, actually I do really like that. I think it would be a crime if I didn't use that. It was it's not nearly as sloppy as I thought it was. I think it's because when I'm playing it, I wanted to hit a certain progression and then I didn't. So I went somewhere else by accident, but then I moved out of that. You know what I mean? Every time I make a mistake, as long as I'm comfortable with the key I'm playing in, I can make a mistake and then say, okay, well, I'm going to go here instead. So at least sounds still nice, you know? Um, so I'm actually overall pretty content with that. And the idea that it's still supposed to be kind of an immediate improvised exercise, you know. Nah, let's see how I wonder how the little melody would fit into that. And where can I put that booming thunder, you know? I think I'm gonna have to create some kind of a silence in the music and then have that thunder hit, maybe. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Oh my goodness, yeah. This right here, eh? I mean, I did grow up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, so that. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I won't be able to use that until. I wouldn't mind putting it at the very end of the track, but I might have to. Well, yeah. Like this section here, I would just cut it, make it its own thing, and then stick it only at the end of the very end of the songs. In case I want to repeat this passage, I could repeat it. I could also just do that again and make it like a slightly different variation. Yeah, I will. I will take that. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Well, okay, I like the beginning vibe of it. I think is the way it's here. I don't know where this is going to work, but I hope I can get it to work somewhere. I like the idea of that motif coming back. Maybe right here. Ooh. It's off, it's off. Also, I'm not even playing in time, so it might not work at all. That was just giving me a headache. Okay, I'll actually just play it over, you know, in time. Silly. Okay. Hey, Game Raver. I think it should start here. Kinda, maybe. Yeah. Yes, good evening, Game Reaver. Welcome. It's turn it down. I don't know. Maybe. A little variation on that. EQ Legends. So tonight, I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't planning on, honestly, I thought I was going to be streaming the last 2 days, but then I just needed a break. I think from like streaming or not so much EQ Legends because I had considered playing it off stream, but I didn't end up doing that actually. I think I just needed a change of scenery, so I just changed up my hobbies there for a day or two. So I'm still not sure if I want to do EQ Legends today. But that being said, it would be tomorrow if not today. But I'm thinking about it. I have a video sitting on YouTube that's going to be released at 10 o'clock. It's not to do anything with EverQuest Legends. Um, it's like it's actually me doing a playthrough of this interesting interactive. Oh, it's not interactive fiction. Well, it is interactive fiction, but it's just a choose your own adventure book. And I just thought, oh, how cool would it be to just do a calm playthrough of it? Because I've been meaning to play this for 2 days. So I ended up playing that instead of like EverQuest. I just played a different type of role-playing game, and I had some fun with it. But yeah, sorry, that's a long story. I have a feeling it won't be tonight, but I'll definitely be streaming in the next few days. Yeah. I just definitely needed to produce. I needed to do the music session today, though, because I have to do 2 a week to keep up with my time frame. So, how's everybody's EverQuest journey going, though? I imagine a lot of you have leveled quite a bit. I'm still sitting at level 11, but that's okay. Like, I was never in a big rush, but I just thought it was funny that I had a small burnout, like, the day after launch. I think there was a part of my brain was like, okay, launch happened. Take a break for a sec. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, level 10, nice. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I think last I checked, I was buying my spells and I didn't have enough money, so I definitely need to punch things and make more money. Scumby, you're up to level 41. Wow. On your first trio, I imagine, or I imagine you didn't switch any classes in between, right? You just stuck with the first three and you went with it. Oh yeah, you did some switching? Oh well, I guess yeah, I guess when you switch your classes start at level 10, right? So, yeah. Still, that's impressive progress though. Oh wait, you said NP switching. Oh, you meant no switching. So okay. I got confused there. You meant no switching. Um, yeah, no, my brain filled in blanks that were not there. Okay, no, that makes sense. I guess the other way would have made sense too, but I would have said, okay, you've been really at it if that was the case. All right, let's see where I can. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. That's kind of you. I'll see today. I don't want to. I doubt it will be today. At least after this session, when I'm finished in about an hour, at the very least, I would take a break first before I did any EverQuest. But I have a feeling it'll just be tomorrow when I have kind of the freedom of the day. I can kind of, yeah, Saturday. It'll be a good time to play too. Saturday, the 1st of August. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be music streams, and I occasionally may do. Well, I will definitely do other types of streams, but I can never know what fills the mood and the time. I want to try and be consistent, right, with EverQuest. Um, yeah, I might do introduce other things, but that are all kind of related somewhere in the realm of like role-playing games or games in general. All right, let's see where I can put in this melody. That could be something. Okay. Kind of a variation on that initial melody. Just kind of less abrasive in your face, but just a reminder of like, hey, this is what's happening. Yeah, I'm kind of curious actually, just on a side note, because like since I dove into the world of EverQuest, then I dove into, it reignited my love for multi-user dungeons, and I thought, oh wow, I haven't looked at one of those in forever. What's going on? And then I watched like a documentary on text adventures, and I got like thrust back into the mid 80s, like basically the years of computer games, like right before I was born. But I was always really interested. So like all the stuff that led up to EverQuest, like text adventures and interactive fiction and multi-user dungeons, and it kind of reignited this passion, I guess, of like stuff that I was interested in when I was a kid, other than video games, like other types of games and pen and paper role-playing games and digital variants of that. And I thought, oh, cool. How about I should definitely check some of these out, and maybe I can make videos about them. So yeah, so there's not a lot. There's not a lot of videos on that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was just a random thought. That's where I was at yesterday, and it was because of EverQuest, because EverQuest is so much like a MUD, and then MUDs are basically online versions of those early text adventures, and text adventures are just a bunch of computer nerds in the 80s trying to make puzzles and trying to get their D&D games onto a computer. See, if I was just born maybe 20 years earlier, I would have been that guy, you know? Working at Infocom or something. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I definitely would have been playing the games, though. Let's see if this works. That's nice. Okay, so this could potentially work. Now, where am I going to put in that dang... Where's that thunder going to go? You know? Sorry. So obnoxiously loud. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something like progressive. I think there has to be like some silence allows the thunder to come in. This is like the Hosanna, he enters. There's this reminder of the like a kind of a countdown. This is kind of the idea, right? It's something that's descending. That's the countdown, the 6 days for Passover. But then you have like the glorious entry into Jerusalem, and that's when they're cheering Hosanna, Hosanna. Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel. Or a Hosanna in the name of David. Oh, Hosanna to the Son of David, sorry. This kind of works like a counter melody. But what if I shorten it? Last part, as much as I like the first part better than the second, the first half better than the second half was tailored to... Oh, hey, Kevin11, thank you. Nice music. Thank you very much. It's supposed to give, Mind relaxing. Yeah, that's nice. Um, so yeah, I'm doing it's for a music project. I'm trying to kind of capture some parts from the book of John in the Bible. So I'm putting music to the chapters. This one is for John 12. Um, yeah, I love music. Yeah. I loved it so much I found a fun way to do it in my master's degree, even though I'm not a music major. So, yeah, I do like it. Mostly like relaxing ambient stuff or dungeon synth. Those are my go-tos. I like mostly to improvise and to create moods, so I think those genres are the easiest ones to do it in. Because if I'm making experimental ambient, like, who cares what my song structure looks like? Well, I mean, I guess I kind of do sometimes, but yeah. That's a good question. This might be weird, but well, okay. My stepfather played a lot of music around me, but that's not what made me so excited about it. The first thing that made me really love music, especially this type of music, because I liked like some pop music when I was 13, 14. I listened to classic rock a lot. My mom was big into classic rock, and I loved like progressive stuff. So listening to my mom's old albums in the car, listening to my stepdad jam with his friends. But I think the biggest thing for me was the Final Fantasy games. Um, when I first played all of the Final Fantasy games, especially like 7 and 8 and 9, like the ones on PlayStation where the music quality was a little bit better, less 8-bit, which I love 8-bit music, but I fell in love with all of those theme songs. Um, yeah, I have cassettes, yeah. I changed my theme there a few times, but it's because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I had like a Wild West theme. I changed it to cassettes to be like, hey, I make music primarily, and then I play games extra because the thing is I want to focus on making music all the time as a project because I have a million projects, but I don't always play games. I have long periods where I play games and then I have a few months where I don't, but I always want to make sure that there's like a thing that I'm always doing. I would like to also play games more regularly instead of it being like, okay, I'm binging for 3 months and then I don't play for 3 months. So I'm trying to find ways to switch it up, but I figured the cassettes were a good way to just say like, I guess I want to be a music person first, but yeah, I'm also very easily confused about what I want to do with my Twitch page. I keep changing it all the time. Okay. So there's gonna have to be a moment of silence. I switched my themes a few times, yes. Just a few. I had I had like Wild West things, and then it was some other kind of generic neon purple something, and then I put it to cassettes. and black cats because I have two black cats and I love them. So I figured, okay. I wanted to give, I thought the cassettes were also a more generic theme because the Wild West was when I thought that I was going to be a Hunt Showdown streamer. My goal was, oh, what's my favorite game? It's Hunt Showdown, so I'm going to stream that. But I don't think I can stream any one game or do any one thing for too long. So I tried to find something that's more just neutral, and cassettes felt better because who cares if you have cassettes? It doesn't tell the person what kind of games you like to play, right? It's like, oh, he likes music. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, 3 times. So now I've settled on it, but Twitch is also yeah, it's also mostly just a place because I'm just recording my music project. I think I'm mostly streaming on YouTube is what I'm doing. Um, and Twitch, I have it as an extra right now. Um, but the main reason I'm streaming this summer is just to record my music project, which you're witnessing right now. This is actually me talking about the methodology of making my music in order to remember in 4 months when I'm submitting and writing about my projects. So it's a bit of everything, but it's really just for the summer that I'm doing it as a project, just to record my project. I do every time I stream now, I stream on both Twitch because now I found a way to dual stream, but I'm really mostly streaming on YouTube because on Twitch I don't really get viewers. I have one or two, but in comparison to YouTube, it's different. It's easier to be found on YouTube, so I primarily stream there. Um, but I'm back on Twitch just because it's easy as pressing a button. But on Twitch, it's usually just like stream bots or people trying to sell me overlays and stuff. So I kind of gave up, you know. No, well, no, I got rid of those. Um, I don't use Instagram and Discord I have, but I don't really have a reason for using it. Unless it's very rare. If once upon a time, if one day people say, "Hey, we'd like to have a Discord for community to keep in touch better," then I have a server for that, but other than that, no. Okay. Um Okay, so this ending part here. I like this part, but it's not going to make much sense here right now, you know? So, um, I can take these, copy them, paste them all the way down there, shorten this right down to that. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's single hand. That was the one thing that's the only thing I would literally have 3 or 4 people a day, or 2 to 4 people every day, and that were the only people coming in. And I would think that they were actually interested, and then I found out that they were not. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, but I wrote it on, it's the first rule on my profile now, or I think so. It should be. Like I wrote something like, "Hey, I respect the hustle, but don't just please not in the server," because I just got so fed up. It was the only thing that would happen. Um, because it confuses me, right? Because I'm trying to figure out like who's interested in what, and if I'm not actually getting people who are there to watch the content, then it's like, well, what am I doing? Well, okay, so I'll ask you this because like this, for example, it clicked. I haven't been on Twitch for a month. Um, it's been about a month since I've been on Twitch, so I forgot what it was like when. Okay, well, I'll say this: like, I'm pretty sure that you're someone who deals in that, right? Do you want because you're asking me more questions than anybody's ever asked me, and then you asked me about my Discord. And that's when it clicked. I was like, as soon as you asked me if I had a Discord, because I've been trying to make a Discord and I'm asking people and nobody seems interested. The only people interested in my Discord, eesh, yeah. I respect what you're doing, but it's like I already have like 4 people on Discord harassing me to make me art and stuff. And I might take them up on it, but I also live with someone who's a talented artist, so I'd most likely just like pay her and have her do the stuff for me, you know? And not to say that you or the other people are not interested, but it actually kind of made me feel like crap in the beginning because they were asking me so many questions and I was like, oh wow, hey, people are actually popping into the live. And then it was just like, what's your Discord? And then I learned that way. I was okay. Not to say that there haven't been a few people who are just like here to watch the stuff. Everybody's got to make a living, right? But this isn't how I make my living, so that's why I'm not too concerned about that stuff either. Yeah. Okay. So I want to go progress this somewhere else. Let's brainstorm here. The themes at the end here are I'm on the wrong paper. 6 days before Passover. Yeah, no doubt you would, but I don't want to waste your time because I already kind of feel bad. I was considering it first with others, but there's no point in me doing anything with my panels if nobody comes in and watches me anyways. And I streamed hundreds of hours on Twitch in the beginning to literally nobody, and it didn't matter how much effort I put in or little. It's just I'm only on Twitch because I can press a button and it's easy, but like until anyways, I'm not worried about my panels. I do appreciate though. I don't know what that is, Cassid's design. All right. Well, anyways, it's literally the first rule on the it's the first rule, man. Yikes. God damn. I was actually being relatively nice to that person, too. They're so freaking hungry, man. All right. Okay, so it's insane. Dan, I can't tell you, like, I would have 4 or 5 people like that swing into my... So this is before you guys found me on YouTube doing EverQuest stuff. And actually, before EverQuest, I did a couple weeks of just uploading different types of videos as an excuse to put some sorry, some calm music and back. But before that, I spent I think 6 straight weeks streaming on Twitch many days, and I would get like I would get, with a few exceptions. There's two exceptions: Unconformed and Penguin, and actually a couple of really cool music producer people from Europe who were just like giving me cool advice in Ableton, and I really appreciated it. So there have been, don't get me wrong, a few like actual legitimate engagements in on Twitch, but for the most part, it's always the same thing. I start a live, I get some kind of a stream bot thing that I have to ban, and then I could get anywhere from, like, depending on how long I'm there, 2 to 5 people who basically do this thing where they ask you all kinds of questions, and you feel like, wow, this person's really engaging, they're interested, and then they get you with the give me the Discord, or like, hey, I have ideas for your page. And so anyways, nothing you haven't already heard, but yeah. And then you feel like, it makes me feel like crap because I'm like, you're just doing that because you want me to like buy your art or your panels or something for you. And I'm like, I'm not gonna bother, like, because I'm happy with what I got, and honestly, it makes no difference, whether it doesn't make much of a difference. It makes no difference because nobody finds you on Twitch anyways. I'm gonna sound a little bit salty, but Twitch has zero findability. So unless people know you from somewhere else or you get extremely lucky, nobody's looking on your Twitch page and being like, "Hey, this guy has nice panels. I think I'm going to check out his page." Like, all you are is a little box. People see your feed and then they decide whether they want to click on you. And that's it. But that's all I would get. That's like literally all I would get. And I'm so surprised that I didn't catch on earlier. It took me like a solid 6 minutes for me to be like, "Oh, right. This person is." Anyway, sorry, I'm like borderline gonna rant, but that was my experience on Twitch, and it's like, oh my god, which is part of the reason why I left, because I didn't know I was able to stream on YouTube, and then when I went on YouTube and actual people were coming in and finding it, and people who liked the game I was playing and who knew about it, that was like, okay, well, obviously I should be streaming here because I want to have fun. I don't want to be banning people for 6 hours. Yeah. Um. Oh, it's 9:30. I'm wondering if I should head over to the store next door just to get a snack and some that awesome mineral water that they have. Probably. Okay. Just give me a few minutes, folks. I'm going to um remove this so you can look at a cat, and I'll be back. Okay. What's the button? This one. There we go. Back. Excellent. Yeah, again, I guess kind of feel bad about doing that. I got so used to doing it in the beginning of the summer that I wouldn't think about it, but it's been so long since I had to ban someone who I've been talking to. But I remembered that's kind of the whole. I hate it, but as you can see, even if I think I made myself clear enough that I wasn't going to indulge them, and they were like, well, let me tell you what I can do. Anyways. One person I was actually yeah, it's good to see. It's good that somebody on the outside looking in can be like, um, the first time, two times it happened, I actually added these people on Discord and they showed me, they gave me the whole, they hit me with a wall of all kinds of 3D art and digital art as examples. And I noticed, okay, that's kind of that's how they get you. That's how they engage with you. They get your Discord, then they hit you with a wall. Now, one of them was really patient and really cool. And they were like, "No problem, let me know. We can talk about pricing." And I think there was something legit. If I was actually really interested, I could have maybe done something. But what turned me off was the other person. They harassed me to no end and would be like calling me on Discord and leaving 35 messages. So I'd get up in the morning and I had all these. It was like having a psychotic spouse or something. Yeah. Yeah. It's true. That's true. I am supposed to be working on a project. Uh, uh, it'll just be slightly more work for me in the future when I'm scrubbing through the video and be like, oh yeah, that's get rid of that. Find a way to punt. Yeah, we'll have to invent new technologies just to do that, right? Yeah. I guess I respect the hustle, but again, I also put it as a rule. I feel like it's on my Twitch page. I'm pretty sure. I'm actually double checking this right now. But I'm pretty sure I wrote it as a. But I'm pretty sure I wrote it as a. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's literally the first rule under the cassette, which they pointed out. Please don't come in here trying to sell me your art. I appreciate the hustle, just not in my channel. No, and then under that, no solicitation of any kind. Anyway, okay. Back to back to the music. Have I ever listened to any dungeon crawler? No, I have not. No, I haven't. Sounds interesting though. Audiobooks. So is Carl someone who goes through these choose your own adventure books and I wonder if it's close to what I did with the video. I narrated the thing and then I talked about my choices and so it's like the viewer can relax and go through the adventure with you. I think so. If it's something like that, that sounds pretty cool. I would love to listen to that. So wait, it's a audio book, so maybe I have access to it on Spotify. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, okay. I have it. Yeah, I have access to it. Dungeon Crawler Carl, chapters 1 through 5 on Spotify. Oh, cool. Thank you, Scumby. Yeah, I will definitely look that up. I mean, I have it here, so I'm going to add it to what's the plus sign do? It just adds it to my episodes. Okay. Just
Prizes for them. You want to play the game? Can you fucking leave me alone?
okay. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get the vibe. I'm getting the vibe. I'll check it out. Wait, why is that low? Oh, it's not. I have a really nice pair of studio headphones, but the tip at the end is very sensitive, falls out very fast. So I hear very low sometimes. Okay, right. It can ring out. There it is. The thunder, the voice of God. So this could be okay. So we have the element of the 6 days of the Passover with that kind of a countdown motif, and then you have the celebratory Hosanna arriving, fulfilling the prophecy. It's kind of like this happy-go-lucky chanting. Then there's the being glorified by the voice of God, which is some describe it in the chapter as it being a thunderous noise. And after a moment of silence, you know, it rings out, and the listener's like, okay, song's over. No, it's not. Thunder. Okay. And then somewhere in between, in the middle of that sound file, I'm going to do some other kind of an improvised thing about the believing while there is light. I might have to read that part again. So he's anointed, triumph of Palm Sunday, dying to this world. Become sons of light. Then Jesus said to them, a little while longer the light is with you. Walk while you have the light, lest the darkness overtake you. He who walks in darkness does not know where he is going. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become sons of light. These things Jesus spoke and departed and was hidden from them. Or maybe directly after the thunder. So the people who stood by heard it and said, it had thundered. Others said, an angel has spoken to him. Jesus answered and said, this voice did not come because of me, but for your sake. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be cast out. And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all peoples to myself. This he said, signifying by what death he would die. The people answered him, we have heard from the law that the Christ remains forever. And how can you say, the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? walking in the light, becoming sons of light. Judgment of the world, casting out the ruler of the world. Ooh, I wonder if this calls for a key change, maybe. Let's see. I don't really know. I think I'm just gonna run with it and do something and say it is good. But I want to experiment. I want to just do a quick key change and see what that... Like, continue in the same key as this, as it has been. And then just try something a little bit different. Wait, I can also bring this back, can't I? No. Not that part. This part. Hmm. Not that key. I'm not. Hey, you. Just chilling down there. Not entirely sure what I want to do. So maybe I don't need to kind of take that motif, because I've already really... I think it might be better to just rearrange with what I have. Like I was onto something there. I don't need to go extra and change keys to try and denote this last passage, because, like I said, those last passages are already reflected in other tracks. Previous tracks, I'm kind of talking about the whole people having a hard time believing or acting or believing while you're in the light because the darkness is coming. I've already kind of covered that motif, so I really want to focus on the glorification and the triumph. Because there's going to be lots of room for doom and gloom later on. So, and I got that Mr. Rogers thing at the end of this that I want to put in. So maybe I can shorten this section. Right? What if I repeated this? This is a very rough cut, and then I'm gonna... So actually, no, I don't want... Okay. No, no. Shorten this first. Actually, wait. Redo. Move this over there. Take that part out. Take that part out. Okay. I have to find out where this actually properly comes in. Right, it's actually just on this. No, it's actually a little bit before that. 1/16 bars. Yeah, there we go. Comes in right there. Oop. Okay. Sometimes less is more. Creates a little bit of space, recalls the main passage, and then has a nice little... Because it doesn't... Just visually, I look, and this section here doesn't have a lot of time where it plays by itself, right? It's shot off here, there, here. Although, well, yeah, I'm not using this kit here. Get rid of that. Open John 11. What? Sorry about that. Crashed. Okay. So open John 11. Yeah, save that. So John 11, I had that sweeper saw, and if I copy it, and then I go back to 12, and I paste it in. Delete that. Yeah, what's going on? No, get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go. I was wondering why it was stretching out of proportions. Okay. I think it also brought in the automation with it. Is that possible? That's kind of cool, but also really inconvenient right now. Yeah, get rid of that. Okay, how we doing here? Good, good, good. So I want to see if this element's going to work. It's got that little heavenly tinge to it. Sometimes the effects in Ableton just take off when they... It's beautiful, but all right. Yeah, the sweeper always helps to give a little bit of extra life there. I wonder, too, if I were to take this... Whoops. And I were to also give it that effect to kind of lead it in. How would that sound? I'll listen from here. Ooh, that sounds very nice. But then I have to turn down over here, so I'll show the automation. Click, click, and then... Alright. Once from the top. So kind of a countdown element represented here for future Chris. Countdown elements, you know, we're heading towards Passover, but before we have to celebrate, this is... the entrance into Jerusalem. Hosanna, Hosanna. reminder of the coming of Passover, and then there's the glorification of Jesus through the Word of God, the thunder. Again, a callback to that Passover, but it has that sweeper now, kind of gives it this heavenly, maybe, dare I say, glorified sound to it. Right, but these are too far back. What am I doing? I'm gonna have to fade this out. maybe it's just a bug. I'll save the arrangement. I'll back out completely. Yeah, save. Back out of John 12 completely. Open up. Okay. I'm gonna listen to it once more. Without looking at it, so I'm gonna put the cat on. I think that works. Yeah, that works. It's like there's the thunder, then there's this sound. You know, it's clearly now he's glorified. The hour has come, right? Another aspect, because I have been using a piano mixed with a harp, but the harp is also representative of David in a lot of ways, which Jesus is a descendant of, and the whole reason everybody is excited for him to come is because he is the descendant of David. King David, responsible for majority, if not all, of the Psalms, known for playing a harp. So it all kind of fits together. Maybe it fits together more artistically than it does theologically, but I think there's a healthy mix of both. I need to find a cutoff zone here, so yeah, this needs to fade out. Oh, right. I'll just automate it. Dirt. The automation there. And then you fade out to nothing by there or something. Oop. What? Oh my goodness. There we go. If it insists on continuing to play, then we'll work with it. I can also just fade it out, turn it into a sound file, fade it out, but this works just as well. All right, good. I have a base for this. I'm happy with it. If this was the final product, I'm happy with it. So I'm going to export this. John 12. I'm so excited to listen to I keep meaning to do it. Take all of, so let's say at this point, the 12 tracks I have made and listen to them back to back just to see if the vibe is there, you know? Yeah, I'd say it worked out well. I'm happy with that. I'm happy I'm also making the tracks a little bit shorter. You know, they don't all need to be massive 5-6 minute tracks. So it's more important that I just spend a couple hours to do one, do that twice a week until September, and then when September hits, then I can go back and like maybe be a bit nitpicky and clean things up or expand on ideas, but I'm gonna try not to do too much of expanding, unless I feel like it really needs it. But yeah, no, that worked out. That video went live, so I should probably check on that soon. Make a nice drink. Figure out what's next. Whoa. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I'll call it there for the music stream. But yeah, Dan and Scumby, thanks for popping in. That was cool. Uh, I'm gonna take some time. It's already 10 o'clock. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back in like 2 hours and play some EverQuest, but I have a feeling I'll just wait for tomorrow and I'll just do something else tonight or relax. I kind of had something else I wanted to try too. Take a walk, something like that. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I feel it's better for me to just wait till tomorrow and then I have lots of the day to play. Because I feel like if I do it today, I'm going to start too late. So, it's better off just to wait. But yeah, thanks for popping in. And I'm going to call it here for the music stream at least. And apologize to future Chris for the editing I'm making him do. Yeah, that's true. I multi-class, and then we're gonna have the reincarnation as well. It's yeah. I don't wanna have like that's what attracted me to Legends, right? Is the idea that oh well if I don't play every day or something, I don't feel like I'm behind, you know? So I do really appreciate that about Legends. Is that like you just kind of take my time, and that was the selling point for me is to be able to take my time. Sometimes my time is I'm in crazy raid mode, let's go, but now I'm more relaxed with it overall. But yeah, cool. Well, I look forward to it. Yeah, we can do some fun parties. I also look forward to do my kind of a blind exploration of places I haven't been. So that'll be cool. Make some money, get my spells, all that stuff. Cool. All right, Dan. Yeah, you too. Have a great night, and see you tomorrow. And to everyone else who might still be around, have a good evening. See you tomorrow. And if you're interested in um, choose your own adventures, maybe check out the video. All right. Take care.